Yes. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Pro Wrestling Inside and Out. Yes, I am back. Brent West, along with Jack Lord. He is back as well. Rodney West. Great interview last video.
What part of it? Hold on. Let me quiz you just a minute. What was your favorite part of the interview?
The ending, because I knew I didn't have to see you any longer.
No. I think we don't have to go much more detail than that.
Well, the best part of it is when he's talking about Friday, March 18th at the Old City Performing Arts Center. Pro Wrestling Inside and Out presents an old school television taping right there in Knoxville, Tennessee, down in the old city, down there in the old city area of Knoxville, Tennessee. That was my favorite part. And also it was my favorite part when y'all told somebody got kind of told over sitting in a chin lock or a headlock for 10 minutes. That was
no. That don't count. That doesn't count. Let's get to this. Les had his top Nature Boys. What was his top 4 Nature Boys?
Roger Kirby.
No, you can't be helping, Jack.
I ain't gonna lie. I didn't get to watch it. I just remembered him talking about Roger Kirby before.
Number one was Buddy Rogers. Number 2 was Ric Flair. Number 3, Roger Kirby. Number 4, Buddy Landel.
Buddy Landel was tremendous, by the way. Man, what a wasted talent Buddy Landel was. But for those of you who are in the Knoxville, Tennessee area, would like to travel in, go to livechampionshipwrestling.com. You can purchase your tickets. There's only a limited number of tickets. It's a small venue. It's going to be like going back in time. Jack, just the other day, posted a video from Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. And if you've not went to his Facebook page, go watch that, because that is exactly what you're going to witness on Friday, March 18th. Old school. We go old school. And so I think everybody will enjoy it. Probably the only time we'll be in Knoxville this year. So, make sure you get there on Friday, March 18th.
Now, while we say that, we are going to be doing some more tapings down the road.
Yes.
That's just the only one we're going to be doing right in Knoxville. So
Knoxville, yes.
We'll announce at a later date.
That's true. We'll announce at a later date what we're going to be and where we're going to go. Also, I want to talk about something right now before we get it. Dothan, Alabama. Let's talk a little bit about Dothan, Alabama. Because coming on, I think it's, I believe it's this week sometime, March 4th. What's March 4th, though?
Yeah, March 4th is on. Hold on just a moment. I'll bring it up. March 4th is Friday.
Yep.
All right. Camden Smith, our good friend Camden Smith. Hey, he has a new song out now. Have y'all seen this? Have you heard about this new song?
I saw his video today.
Very good song, by the way. But he is going to be, here it is right here. Well, I think I put it in the wrong spot. Let me see if I can bring it up here. Let me see if I can bring it up here again. But he is going to be in Dothan, Alabama, and I'll bring it up here in a minute. We'll go back to it. But he is going to be in Dothan, Alabama, coming up on the March 4th, 8:45, and we'll tell more people about it later on.
Where is it going to be located at? What is the facility?
Well, I tried to knock it up there, but I put it in the wrong spot, so I'll have to bring it back up here in a minute. But while I'm bringing it up, Rodney, let's go back to the top 100 wrestlers. And let's go ahead and do 49, 50, 51, all 3 of them. And then I'll pull up Camden stuff while you're talking.
Okay. So we're going to do all 3 of them at one big announcement?
One time, because we talked probably about most of these wrestlers in length.
Okay. All right. 51 for me. Dick Murdoch. We've talked about him. 50 is someone I'm sure maybe many of you don't have, but I've got Tojo Yamamoto. I believe one of the, you talk about longevity. This man was in the ring a long, long time and one of the top performers, top wrestlers anywhere. And no matter what capacity he was in, whether it was wrestling or managing, he was fantastic. And then number 49, Dr. D, David Schultz. Great matches.
David Schultz.
He is every time I think of Knoxville, which we're going to be at, I think of David Schultz, Dennis Condrey, stealing the show every single night. They were just awesome. And David Schultz was a tremendous wrestler.
All right. Yeah. You have another one there? 49?
I did have 49. Okay. So I have 51, Dick Murdoch, 50, Tojo Yamamoto, and
David Schultz. Okay.
49 is David Schultz.
They say the mine's the first.
Let me ask you this question, Brent. Are you watching this show this week?
Well, I was actually trying to find something over while you were getting this together. So I did find it, though, by the way. Just things happen live. When you're live, stuff's going to happen at all times. All right, Jack, let's go ahead. 49, 50, 51, starting at 51.
51 for me is Ivan Koloff.
Yes.
I saw a quote from Vern Gagne today about Ivan that said that if he were just a little bit faster, he would have been the best wrestler ever born. Now that's some high praise.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved Uncle Ivan. Number 50 is the superstar, Bill Dundee.
Oh, yes.
And number 49, and he could really go lower on the list, but I went ahead and put him right in at 49 anyway, Dory Funk Jr.
Yes. All those tremendous wrestlers. Here is my 51, Rick Martel. Rick Martel, number 51, tremendous wrestler, by the way. Number 50, one of the top attractions in the world in professional wrestling. And Jack, some people may not believe this, but Jim Londos is still today the number one wrestling attraction of all time. He beats Hulk Hogan, Steve Austin. He beats them all. I mean, 25, 30,000 people used to come to see him. And that's for 3 decades. They came and seen this man wrestle. So
and he was the draw. It wasn't a matter of some stacked card, because sometimes they would only be 2 matches on a card. And he was the main event. So guess who they paid to see?
and 50,000 people would pay to see him wrestle. So tremendous. He's got to be in the top 100. Even though we never watched him wrestle, he's got to be in the top 100 of wrestlers, greatest wrestlers of all time. And number 49, it was on Rodney's list, Dick Murdoch. Tremendous wrestler.
Look at that, so close.
I ever saw was with Dick Murdoch.
I want to talk about just for a memento. Okay, we're not going to besmirch anybody like we did last week. Les just went off on somebody here on the program last week. I just want to tell you, I did not at all. I tried to save the guy. I tried my best, but no. But many people talk about Dick Murdoch and his not being the world champion. People, you don't have to be world champion to be a great wrestler. It's not one of those things you have to have. And Dick Murdoch was a tremendously gifted wrestler. He knew exactly what he was doing when he got in the ring. He knew exactly how to get himself over in any way, shape, or form. And just because you never was the world champion, not everybody can be world champion. And he's one of them. And honestly, I don't think he had to be. I think he was just that good.
Well, I don't know that there have not been that many. If you go back, there's not really been that many world heavyweight champions. And a lot of people that were tremendous wrestlers just didn't want to be world champion. They didn't want to travel all those hours and those days and never have a rest and go hour time limits and stuff.
Every single night, right.
So I did find this thing. Let's see if it comes up right. How do you say that?
McLeod's.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. McLeod's Public House, 5540 West Main Street, number 9.
I know one thing. Camden looks like he's not only working on his music, but possibly in the gym as well. He might be getting ready to make a wrestling debut somewhere.
And he has forsaken the mullet and grown his hair completely out everywhere.
Oh,
there you go.
All right.
All right. So Friday, March 4th, 8:45, Camden Smith is coming to Dothan. So if you're in Dothan, go out and see them. Well, Pat Rose will be with them as well. And Pat is going to be traveling around, going to the Houston County Farm Center. He's going to do a little videotape in there. And he's also going to go see our good friend Charlie Platt.
All right.
In town. Just a great time in Dothan. And
I'm going to tell you, if you like country music, Camden Smith is a great up-and-comer. He's really good. We're not plugging him just because he's Pat's son. The kid's real good, too.
Yeah, he is good. So if you can get out there, go see him. Anything going on in pro wrestling, Jack, that we need to talk about before we go and talk to the insiders?
Let's just go to the insiders. I'm sure they'll bring some subjects up because I'm trying to watch my language.
Before we go?
Do what?
Rodney. Can you not hear us?
Oh, no, I can hear you. No, I can hear you. No, I'm ready to go with, and let's hear from the insiders as well.
All right, let's see what happens.
I'm sure they're all waited with bated breath to see where Cody Rhodes ends up with. I can assure you it's probably going to be working at Walmart.
Good evening, everyone. For Michael, Richard Hood. Good evening, gentlemen. Victor Nash. Hello to everyone. Glenn Allen Shelton is with us. David Bice. He has already got his tickets ready to go for March 18th in Knoxville, Tennessee. Good evening, guys. Getting ready for Knoxville, Tennessee. It's going to be a great evening of wrestling. Wendy Harkins. Hello, everyone. Mickey Mayfield is with us as well. Hello, everyone. Sending prayers for people in Ukraine. Yes, we would like to send our prayers out to them. Jason Mundy. Hello, everyone. Glenn Allen Shelton. Here's his. Ricky Steamboat, Ric Flair, Dashwood all have happy birthdays, evidently. Right. Ric Flair, 92, I believe. I believe he's 92 years old. Actually, was he 73?
72 or 73. Ricky Steamboat just turned 69.
Have you seen his new girlfriend, Ric Flair? 28-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah.
Just want to.
And I can tell you, I'm sure that girl does not know the signs of a stroke, and he needs somebody that
does. It looked like she was helping her father with his mask. Just telling you that's what it looked
like. Not to be beat. Hulk Hogan also got divorced and is dating an extremely younger lady also. So I guess they're still competing in their own way.
Sipo Akangas. Hi from Sipo. How you doing? Glenn Allen Shelton said which numbers we're on. We're on 49, 50, and 51. Rick Brooks. Hello, guys. Quick question from Victor Nash. What's your thoughts on Nikita Lyons' debut last Tuesday on NXT? I understand she was trained by our good friend Bambi, right? Selena Majors, I believe, trained her. It was interesting. Did y'all see it? I watched it because I heard about it.
Honestly, that's the only thing I saw from last week's NXT. I have not only stepped off that bandwagon, I have set it on fire. But I did see that match because, I heard so many people talking about it. So I did watch the clip of it. She's certainly got a ton of potential ahead of her. And I like that they're bringing in women with different looks, and she's got a great look to her, I think. And I think she can be a big star one day.
Rodney, did you see her?
I did not.
Go see her. She's pretty good. Like I said, trained by Bambi. So she'd
hurt you, Rodney. I'm just telling you right now.
You would. Let's see. David Bice said that going to a great show this Friday night. If you were in the Soddy Daisy, Chattanooga area, Scott Hensley's got a great show coming to the Soddy Daisy High School. So get out there.
I think David corrects himself the next comment for it being Saturday night. I can't remember. I thought it was Friday and Saturday, but I'll look that up and make sure.
Okay, so it could be Saturday night. So Friday or Saturday night or both nights, whichever one they are. But just look it up. And we'll try to find out more about it. 51 Angelo Mosca from Richard.
It is Saturday night.
All right, Saturday night, Saudi Daisy High School. Great place for wrestling, by the way.
Yes.
And he has a tremendous card. He also has NWA star Jax Dane on the card, who is kind of local, but he very rarely does any shows in the area. And I'm telling you, he is worth the price of admission alone.
So get there. Saudi Daisy High School, Saturday night. Victor Nash, he's March 11th. Is it Hog Wrestling? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
The Briscoes versus Lucha Brothers. March 12th, Big Time Wrestling. The Briscoes versus the Hardy Boys.
That's my birthday. The cigar
So,
fund will be going up here in a few days.
So March 11th, Hog Wrestling. Where's that at? Where's that going to be located? In North Carolina somewhere? Or
Sure.
let us know there, Victor, where that's located.
I think Big Time Wrestling is in the Carolinas.
Bugsy McGraw, number 50. Yeah, Bugsy was so good. So good at what he did. Could do that interview. This just tremendous. I mean, he was so good. He was a stutterer. He did a lot of stuttering, but man.
Very
Glenn
unique.
Shelton said,
Made it work for him.
"What's going on, Brent? I can only have one, and I mess up." Oh, man. Richard Hood, Adrian Street, number 49. We'll all agree with that.
Yep.
Our Facebook page today, Pro Wrestling Inside, our Facebook page, we had very young pictures of Adrian Street. Tremendous pictures of him, photographs of him. So if you haven't seen it, go and look at it on our.
I would not cross Adrian Street at 18 or 80.
Charles, how you doing, sir? And number 51, Eureka. Is how you say his name?
Enrique Torres.
Enrique Torres. Number 50, Eddie Graham. Number 49, Bob Orton Jr. Kirk is back with us. Kirk, it's been a while. Hello, guys. Great to be back tuning in to enjoy the memories. Victor Nash, number 51, Ivan Koloff.
Hey, Jack had him on his list tonight.
Jake the Snake Roberts, number 49, and the birthday boy, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, comes in at, I think I got that wrong. 51, Ivan Koloff, 50, Jake the Snake Roberts, 49, the birthday boy. I don't know the Jake Roberts. I'm not for sure. Has Jake Roberts made my list? I'm not for sure.
I'm honestly not sure. I think he's on mine.
Oh, I mean, I
may have to go in there and knock a Briscoe off or something. I don't know.
Have to DDT a Briscoe and put him in that spot.
I'm telling you, Jake was great in ring. One of the best minds our industry has ever had.
Yes. Yeah, no doubt. Kevin Penley, 51, Van Vader, or Vader. It's Vader time. Number 50, Ken Lucas. I always forget about Ken Lucas. And number 49, Robert Fuller.
Yeah.
They're all great wrestlers.
I put a video up the other day of Robert and Jimmy Golden, and talked about how in my top tag teams of all time, they were very near the top. Robert, just fantastic. So is Jimmy, but you put them together, they tear a place down.
Yeah, tremendous stuff. Victor Nash asked this question. Could it be, how you say his?
Cesaro
debuting this Sunday at AEW? What do y'all think?
I don't know. I would hope wherever he winds up, they actually use him to the fullest of his ability.
Yeah, I agree with that because they never have. They've always made them. You'd think they were going to, and then the next time they just dropped the ball on him from the time that they started with it. I don't understand what they did, but I don't know how AEW can keep on just paying people to come there and work. I mean, they just keep on every.
Well, did
WWE
Cesaro not have a non-compete clause in his contract?
No, his contract was actually up the first of last year.
Oh,
and he signed an extension to try to negotiate over the past year, and finally come down to the wire, and he just refused their offer and walked out. So he could show up the day he walked out, he could have gone anywhere he wanted to for TV.
Right. Well, he was smart then.
By the way, AEW, I watched a little bit of stuff with him today, and he really the only portions of that show I like are Daniel Bryant and anything that CM Punk does. But other than that, I'm not a fan of the rest of that stuff.
Now, I like Danhausen. I have actually become a fan of Danhausen, the character. I don't think he can wrestle a lick. But he doesn't have to because he's very entertaining. And if that's what you're looking for, he's right there with Orange Cassidy. So there you go.
I didn't like the guy. I remember him on Ring of Honor. I think, yeah, it was Ring of Honor. All right.
I never saw him on Ring of Honor. So
You didn't miss nothing. He was, he doesn't take wrestling serious, but hey,
well, that's why he fits in there, I guess.
That's true. That's true. Kevin Pendley said, "Welcome back, Jack and Brent." Paul, gentlemen, when did writers come onto the scene of professional wrestling? Rodney, do you know?
It seems like about 2002, 2003. About that time, wasn't it?
Yeah. Jack, do you remember? It was right during the Vince Russo, whenever he came along.
Yeah, that would have been back in the 90s is when
would it?
Russo was there, during the Attitude Era. That was
So that would be about right then.
Honestly, if you want to trace it back, according to Ricky Steamboat, Randy Savage was the first one that started writing out matches beforehand. And I think that Vince saw, the outcome of that, and that planted a seed in him. That was a few more years before they started doing it, but it was a gradual process. And of course, now we know it's just way overproduced. There's no natural flow to anything anywhere anymore.
Yeah, if you can agree at any point with Sid Vicious, he said that wrestling was overproduced, that he thought it was overproduced. And there's probably some truth to that. It is overly produced. But if you notice that the WWE, the people that they bring in that are celebrities, it seems like they care more about the wrestling business than the guys that actually were supposed to be wrestlers.
Somebody, I don't remember who it was, but it was one of the WWE talents that is no longer there. But he talked about Bad Bunny. And I'll give him credit. He had probably some of the better matches, the couple that he's had up there, than most of the folks on the roster, or as good as anyway. And that's what he said. He said that guy came in and he took it as serious as anybody has ever done. And he worked hard to learn what he learned. And he had just the ultimate respect for him. And I do too. Now, would I book him on the show? He won't be in Knoxville, I can tell you that.
Let's see. Is this sixth for Flair?
The sixth wife.
Probably, yeah.
Let's see.
Count.
2 or 3 actual marriages. To Wendy, they had a ceremony, but they never filed. So technically, they were never married. So his count is way above the legality.
He could be married with that kind of thinking. He could be married to multiple people at the same time.
Well, I think it used to be. I know in Georgia, if you spent the night with a woman one night, you were common law. So he's probably on, probably 4,000 or 5,000 by now.
Yeah, that's the population of Georgia.
I think he's 16, 17-time world heavyweight champion. I guess that's how many wives he's going to try to go through.
I guess he's trying to match his record up. I don't know. You better hurry. He ain't young.
No, he's not. Glenn Allen Shelton. So Cody, Jeff Hardy, and Cody out, Jeff Hardy, and AEW.
Yeah, I think that's a given that Jeff's going to go there. And I hope he does. I'd love to see him and Matt back together one last
You know,
time.
though, Jeff was laughing all the way to when he went out of there and did what he did, and then they fired him thinking he was, or told him to go home because he had that, and that kind of broke the contract. You know, he was going, now that's what I wanted because they're going to pay me $300,000 and I only have to work 12 times. So, you know, he was happy about that. Charles, question. Why does everyone have to have a power move as a finish? Jack?
I'm going to have to research that, and I'll come back and tell you from that research because I was real quick here. I have no clue. It makes absolutely no sense. Why everything has to be this big power move.
Rodney?
It's because, Charles, every match is exactly the same. There's no difference. No matter who's in the match, it's the exact same match.
That's it. Give that man a cigar, not mine.
I got a pencil. I just wanted everybody to know that everybody like Edge doing the bad Santa thing now. He'll be in his Santa Claus outfit for WrestleMania. Look, children's, I'm coming. Have his bag thrown over his shoulder. In the bag will be 2 chairs.
Is he Krampus now? Is that who he's playing now?
He's looking like it.
He looked like bad. He looked like evil Santa Claus.
He's 48 though, so he's not a young man anymore.
It don't make any difference. That hair has got to go. Maybe they're putting up maybe they're going to have a hair versus hair match.
I don't know. As a guy who can't grow it anymore, my advice is to hang on to it as long as you can.
You know what? You just kind of wonder, what in the world are they thinking?
Why would they turn him though? I mean, he was over his face. It's like, why?
I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me because they could have had a straight up babyface match and it still would have been probably one of the better matches on the card, regardless.
Yeah. 51 Vader, 50 King Kong Bundy, 5 count for King Kong Bundy, and Medusa. That's somebody you don't think about. Number 49. Does she still talk about that? Did she still do the monster trucks? Does she still have a monster truck?
I believe she does. Yeah, and I saw something on her not long ago where she was trying to get Vince to bring her back in for another run.
She could just go in there and like have an AEW belt and throw it in the garbage.
Yeah.
She did that for Vince. So, hello, gentlemen, from Charles Alford. How you doing, Charles? Who is the booker for NWA Power?
There's several people in the office there. Crimson. Gosh, I'm trying to think of who else it is there, but their names are just leaving me. The guy who's was the long running champion, I think he has some say in there. But of course, Corrigan is the main guy. He does most of his own stuff. So
I've never watched the show. Is it any good?
I haven't either, but they've come out with a new deal, and I can't remember how much it was, but you get all their programming plus their pay-per-views for the year, and I'm probably going to wind up getting it. I just haven't yet.
Rodney, have you watched NWA Power?
I've seen bits and pieces, but I've never sit through an entire show. Their announcer does that yelling thing, and I just can't put up with that, so I turn it off. He's not doing, if it's NWA and they're trying to do a studio show, he's not doing it like Gordon Solie. He's sitting out there and I don't know what he's doing. He's trying to be a character himself and it just doesn't work.
Have you ever noticed before they do a dive, they look around, then run to the ropes? You know it's coming. You can call it. It happened. Yes. Yeah, they're bad about that. The dives are just getting way out of hand. Somebody's going to get killed if they can't continue doing that.
And it's in every match, so it doesn't mean anything anymore.
Exactly.
It used to be the luchadors, and that's who you would see do that. But man, now everybody does it. The guy at the front row jumped into the ring the other day from a dive into the ring. I thought that was impressive. But Who was the Kings of Wrestling? Chris Hero.
Yep,
That,
that
that was on
them.
Ring of Honor, right?
Yep. Yeah, Claudio Castagnoli, I think is Cesaro's real name. And that's what he went by, I believe.
Well, it would have probably been better if they'd have gave him an easier name to say. So there's a reason why they call Steve O, not Steve Osanowski. Because nobody could say that. So they would have never got over.
He should come out as just the underused talent, and he would be over immediately.
Yeah.
It's true. Victor Nash, House of Glory Wrestling does shows in New York, Toronto, is owned by the rapper Master P.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now I remember that he owned a promotion, but I didn't know the name of it.
Jack Dunhausen, whatever you call his name, does wrestle. He's injured now.
Yeah, I knew that he wrestled. I just heard that he wasn't very good at it. Which I'm not faulting him. I mean, he's found a niche there, and he's getting paid a lot of money. And I like seeing what he's done on AEW. I think it would destroy me if he actually wrestles and I have to crap on him. So I hope that he just does the evil thing. Very nice, very evil.
Michael Barr's having some technical difficulties. Well, we always have those.
My mic wasn't working until a minute before we came on, Michael. So we know about that.
That's right.
Did you mention Terry Landell? Yeah, he passed away this week. He was a character. If anybody did not know Terry Landell, he was a character in Knoxville, Tennessee. If you ran a show there, he'd always run a show, free show, right up against you somewhere. But Terry was something else. I was telling you.
Yeah, Terry left no middle ground. You either liked him or you didn't.
Yeah, and I liked him. Even though he was a character, I liked him. I did have him throughout one time in Knoxville at the Coliseum. He came and started telling people the finishes that he heard in the back. He was telling the people what the finishes are going to be. And tried to. But Terry was around a long time, promoted wrestling a long time, and I did like Terry. Every time I talked to him, I always enjoyed the conversations I had with Terry. So our prayers are with his family. Let's see. Do you know? Let's see. What does he say? He said, "Do you know about technical? But I can be difficult." David Baez said, I would like to see Don Hansen and Crazy Steve be partners. Crazy Steve is legally blind. Am I correct?
Yep.
And still wrestles.
Yep.
Which what was the guy's name that was legally blind, Rodney? George Weingroff?
George Weingroff. Yeah. I wonder if Steve's doing any dives.
Probably not. I actually wrestled George one time. That is the most physically fit human being I ever locked up with in my life.
He was good too.
Yes, he was fantastic.
Great shape. Always tremendous shape.
Still in great shape.
I received my copy of the Wrestler last week. 366 pages have great wrestling information and usually do not recommend any product without compensation. But in this case, I'm going to break my policy and recommend that everyone purchase a copy. So there you go.
And while we're talking about books,
endorsement,
there's a new book on Wahoo that I believe is co-written by his wife that should be out on Amazon. I tried to find it last week and it hadn't hit yet, but that's supposed to be a pretty good book also.
I'd like to read that book. Wahoo was always one of our, but boy, man, he could hurt you.
Yep.
He hurt us and we wasn't even wrestling and we was just there. He was just coming, hey, boys, come here for a minute.
That's right. A double
to you, he hurts you.
A double headlock with those neck that bracelet and the watch tore our ears off our head. We had ears until that.
He was a nice guy. He was really and truly a nice man.
Every time he'd come near us, we'd start running.
Just because he was a rough and tough man. There's no doubt about it. He was just a
It
rough.
snatched you in a headlock and down you go.
Ric Flair has as many wives as his record 23 times. Evidently, that is evil. Don Hosett is evil, evidently.
Yeah, I love his little thing. Danhausen is very nice, very evil. I love that.
Ric Flair will never find a woman that loves him as much as he loves himself. That's an ego problem from Rick Brooks. Michael Barr said, Vader is my 50. Joe Bateman is with us. He can't handle idle an hour.
That's he's talking about me in the NWA.
Oh,
I probably could handle idle. I'm telling you, these commentators, they just do not. They turn me off real bad.
50, King Kong Bundy. Did not make my list, I don't believe, but I can see why he would, because he was tremendous and what an impact he made in wrestling. He wasn't really a wrestler for a very long period of time. Think about it. He went over and he started doing that computer stuff and made more money than he ever made in wrestling. I thought that was pretty mean, though. Even a wrestler can use this computer. It was pretty bad. It wasn't too nice.
That Married with Children episode that he did was, man, one of my favorites.
Yes.
Has anyone noticed when the wrestlers get thrown out of the ring, you can see them peeking over the corner of the ring?
Yeah.
I don't watch it. I only watch YouTube clips. And I think most people are watching YouTube clips now of wrestling. I think that's the reason there's 86 million people on the WWE's YouTube, because everybody's watching it there. They're not.
Their biggest clip this week was from Randy Orton getting hurt last night.
Oh, did he get hurt?
Now, finally, reports came out today that he just got the wind knocked out of him. That I can't think of that guy's name that did it. He does this tremendously beautiful frog splash, but I think he caught him pretty flush with it, knocked the wind out of him, and he couldn't continue the match.
Wow!
And those guys pinned him, and that was not supposed to be the way the match went. But I'm just glad he's okay. I like Randy.
Fellas, I'm trying to make myself like NWA Pro. Nick Aldis, is that how you say his name? And Tim Storm are good.
Tim Storm, man, I'm telling you, that guy's great. And Nick is also.
Let's see. I went down too far for some reason. Here we go. Victor Nash said Brian Breaker, and I never can say this guy's name. That's the reason he can't make
Tommaso Ciampa.
Versus the Dirty Dogs. Who's the Dirty Dogs?
That is we just talked about him just a second ago. They're regulars on Raw. Robert Roode and what's his partner?
Oh yeah,
the blonde guy that.
Yeah.
They're called the Dirty Dogs now, huh?
Yeah. They finally gave him a name. Yeah, they've only been tagging about 5 years now.
Dolph Ziggler, yeah.
Dolph Ziggler.
It's just on the jobbers. They would have been Ricky Steamboat's birthday was yesterday, Sean Smith said. You said
I was thinking it was 69. Yep.
Michael Barr, Rod Rodney, the commentating is rotten in the WWE.
It's pretty much rotten everywhere.
It's just awful.
Jim Ross is about the only one I can stand.
And that's what they're doing. They're trying to copy Jim Ross, and it doesn't come over good. It doesn't work for them.
If you ever noticed, I watched a clip today, and it was, I don't even know who all these people was. Buddy Murphy, a couple other, I don't know who they were. But man, this thing was horrible. And Jim Ross said, "Oh, the old turning the lights off and back on." It's like he was just making
lights went off like 3 times in that match.
Turn off the light, boy.
I heard about it. It was just horrible. It was horrible. Made no sense whatsoever.
And I like Buddy Murphy, but I didn't like the way they did that.
No, that was bad. Rodney, if you have an opportunity, watch that. That's bad. I think it's about time to watch some old Continental shows on YouTube. Tremendous stuff, by the way. Ricky, Joel Bateman said, Ricky Steamboat, happy birthday. Kevin Penley. You see Don Heiser shopping for action figures on YouTube. Rude and Ziggler, Glenn Allen said. Michael Barr, was it Kevin Owens that knocked the breath out of Randy Orton?
Orton, no, it was the Street Profits, the smaller of the two that does that just phenomenal top rope splash that he does. Just caught him wrong. What I understand, there was nobody upset with him. Stuff like that's going to happen when you start doing those big, huge impact moves. Eventually, somebody's going to get hurt.
Yes, WWE double face palm. What's that mean? I lost here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, you have to write
Yeah,
me
Wendy Harkins said Montez Ford. Yep, that's his name.
Montez Ford. This may be off the subject, but were the police who charged the Ring of the War to settle the score in 1985? I believe they were.
Mhm.
I believe that was really the police. I don't, because I'm telling you, at that time they weren't going to pay no extras. It had to be the police that they paid. They weren't going to pay nobody extra to do that thing. Because they were just at that point hoping that they just keep on being in business. What's the deal with WrestleMania being 2 nights? I think it's been 2 nights the last few years, right?
I know it was last year, and it may have been the year before also. It's because they're wanting to make it this even bigger mega event, which I'm fine with. But they also knew that sitting through 6 hours, it just wore the crowd out. You just can't do that. So they're breaking it into, 3.5 hours or so on Saturday, then on Sunday. They're going to have a full weekend. You got live SmackDown on Friday. Immediately after that, you go to the Peacock Network. They're going to have the Hall of Fame inductions. Saturday about noon, they're going to have the NXT pay-per-view that weekend. Then that evening is night 1 of WrestleMania, Sunday night 2.
I have
Yeah.
the Peacock Network, so I'll probably
They've turned it into a whole weekend. That's the way to do it, really.
Yeah.
To have an entire weekend of wrestling. It's a tremendous idea.
And it's not just them. I mean, if you're in the Dallas area, there's a ton of independent shows that's going to be going on all around that area. I mean, you're probably going to have 3 or 4 different promotions going at the same time all week long. So
does Ring of Honor have a show?
Ring of Honor is going to be there. There's just a ton of. I mean, anybody that can afford the venue is going because you're going to draw.
Yeah,
there's money to be made off of Vince's coattails.
So was Excalibur a wrestler, or has he always been a commentator?
I don't know. I never heard of him until he started with AEW. I've never really looked him up. So,
Flair fired poor Fifi.
Poor Fifi's right. I like her. She's a good person.
Yeah, old Fifi. If anybody remembers, it was the Flair's talk show when he came back from the WWF at the time, and Fifi the maid. It was his maid.
Flair for the gold.
Flair for the gold. If you remember, one of the greatest things that ever happened on that was the Shockmaster.
That's right. That's right.
We've got to get. I talk to him fairly often. He's wanting to do the show sometime.
Yeah, we need to get him on.
Fred Ottman. Great guy.
David Bias said you can't beat indie wrestling. That's true. There's some good shows out there, and I've watched some great stuff. WrestleMania should be 1 3-hour show, Phil Bateman said.
They're maximizing their profits, Maybe wrong with that.
Khan does not believe he needs Cody anymore since he has so many big names now. Poor Cody. I pray Vince does not make him kiss his butt on TV.
I think the deal more with Cody wasn't so much the placement on the card, and I don't think Cody was the biggest draw there. But Cody wanted to make an imprint like his dad did as far as from a booking aspect. And when that got taken away from him, I think that he figured, well, if I'm not going to have that, you better pay me a lot more money. And Tony wasn't willing to do that. So,
yeah, I think he wanted CM Punk money.
Yeah.
And
there's nothing wrong with that. I want CM Punk money. It ain't happening, but.
Kevin Bentley said Excalibur wrestled for PWG.
Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. I think.
Sean Smith said, Cody's Uncle Fred. If y'all have never seen Dusty Rhodes talk about the Shockmaster, it is tremendous. Go back and see it. They may have pulled it because it was part of that. It was on YouTube, but I guess it's on the Peacock Network. I guess all those interviews was there with Dusty, the roundtable things, and he tells the story about that. And he said it's tremendous stuff. And during that, he said that Cody was watching the show while it happened with all his friends. And this is how Dusty said it. He said when he failed, he said Cody looked over and said, "My goodness, I believe that was Uncle Fred. I believe that was Uncle Fred." Just the way he tells the story is tremendous. And Dusty was a tremendous person anyway. Anybody that got to know Dusty and be able to be in the room with Dusty, he was Dusty Rhodes. There's no doubt about it. It was he would keep you laughing and keep you glued to what he had to say. That's one thing about Dusty could do. If I'm not in the other members of the wrestling, it will be because I am watching someone talk about something else. Not going to mention what.
We're not going to mention it either.
That's right.
Glad you're here, Michael. We've missed you.
Yes. Jack, anything that we need to talk about the people? Norman Card said invite Ron Fuller to come on. He probably would not, but if he wanted to, he could.
He has his own podcast.
Yeah.
And that's how he makes money and fully understand that.
Yep. And a great podcast, by the way. If you want to learn about wrestling, I think it's called the Studcast. Am I
Studcast, yep. Uh-huh.
The Studcast, tremendous stories. And if you want to know the history of professional wrestling, there is nobody better than Ron Fuller to tell you the history.
In fact, Ron advertises, I have a Facebook page called Southeast Wrestling News. If you want to look it up and become a member of that group, he posts regularly in there of all his podcasts. Plus, I, make sure I put as many independent show information up there as possible, plugging what we do here. All kinds of information there. If you live in the Southeast, want to know about wrestling, that's a good place to go to.
There you go. All right, Rodney, anything that we need to discuss before we leave tonight?
I believe we've got it.
Don't forget, folks, Championship Wrestling coming to Knoxville Friday, March 18th, Old City Performing Arts Center. Go to livechampionshipwrestling.com to learn more about it and buy your tickets. And we hope to see everybody there. And we 18 days away at this point to the show. So we'd like for everybody to get out there and support Pro Wrestling Inside and Out and Championship Wrestling. Thank you so much, Jack. Thank you, Rodney. We want to thank you, the supporters. We certainly do appreciate it. I believe tonight, as we were speaking, we went to 40,000 insiders on our Facebook page. And we thank you so much for sharing everything with us. We certainly do appreciate it. And we'll see everybody next week as we continue our look at the top 100 wrestlers, at least our top 100 wrestlers. You may have other ones, and come on here. And
there is no wrong list.
No, there is no wrong list. It's your list.
Richard wanted to know if there's any insider page this tonight.
No, because we can't get it fixed to work right. We don't know why, but it just will not. I thought the Killer Kong. What happened to them guys? By the way,
I don't know what happened to them. I think they've both passed away now.
I like them. Good guys, by the way. Good guys.
Hey, Richard said that Dusty said he laughed so hard with the Shockmaster angle they had to take him back to his room.
and Fred makes fun of it too. I mean, he enjoys the humor of it.
Well, that's David Crockett's fault. David Crockett is the one that caused all that. They said that he put a board in front of that, so he would know where it was at. And forgot
right down there about shin level.
The only thing about it is you couldn't help but do nothing but laugh because it was so bad. There's no way of covering that up.
They should have. Flair and them should have went in there and put the boots on them.
They should have.
If I'm
Basically,
not mistaken, I believe they filmed that in Huntsville because I was there. I remember being there watching.
the crowd was just rolling.
Oh, tremendous stuff. Thank y'all so much. We'll see everybody next week right here on Pro Wrestling Inside and Out. Until then, go to our Facebook page. If you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, get that, because that is where eventually the Championship Wrestling show will be aired. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week right here on Pro Wrestling Inside and Out.